Gary, what happened over there? Are you are you weightlifting or what's going on?
I think what happened to new guy, you just making him hold up the microphone.
Yeah, I saw you just ripped the mic right off.
Moved it down.
That's good. It means you're working out. I mean,
drop it on the floor when he's done.
There you go.
right. Yeah, mic drop. There are just too many commercial loan brokers that don't have a damn clue of what they're doing. All we're trying to do here is better the industry for everybody. At the end of the day, you can make great money in this industry, but in the end, it's all about helping people. You know, people always say, Chris, how can I be a successful broker? It's 2 words, hard work and dedication. If you don't like talking to people, you probably shouldn't be in this business. Hey, everybody, welcome back to another wonderful episode of Entrepreneurs in Finance, where we talk about the daily life of CCTG graduates and the employees that serve them. And this episode is the first of its kind. Many people looking into our company may ask, you know, you claim you have lifetime support, you know, you have all this support. So what is support really, right? We get that question all the time. You know, what does it mean when you provide support? And so we went all out, reached to the far end of the earth to bring our team in one place here today. And I have these wonderful gentlemen on either side of me here that I'm going to introduce who really make up our support team. And so let me introduce these fine young, well, some of them are not young, but gentlemen that are in the room here. First and foremost, let me turn it over to Mr. John Cosentino, probably the oldest employee of our company here. John, you want to explain, introduce everybody what you do and what your role is?
Sure. Second oldest, longest tenure. So there's a big difference.
Second oldest.
Max got me beat by 1 year.
Okay, we'll get to Mac in a second. But yeah, I want to explain your background and your role with the company.
Background-wise, started my career early in commercial real estate. Took courses for a CCIM designation, which is training specifically in the commercial real estate industry. And then went from there to banking. I worked for a large regional M&T bank, and then Citibank for about 8 years. And leaving Citibank, got into SBA loan origination, working for a company called Business Loan Express, which is actually where you and I met,
right?
If you remember. And Chris and I did a couple deals together back when I was with that company. So I was originating 7A loans and 504 loans for that company. And around 2008 to 9 range, when the market dropped down, that particular company ended up going out of business, primarily because they had a LIBOR-based line of credit. Pricing went way up, so they couldn't afford to really make money on the loans like we were doing in the origination. And it just, the timing was right because you were doing the commercial capital training group thing and needed help. And there I was. So, well,
you know, what's interesting about you is I remember when you were working for BLX, we've had, it was a long time ago, right? Long time ago.
11 years.
11 years. But I remember we had conversations where maybe I was thinking about recruiting you over, but you weren't ready yet because you were still making the big bucks for Business Loan Express. But look what happened. I was, market dropped out and we're cranking and you're out, you're without a job in 08.
Yeah. And you think about it, I mean, it's a big part of what our training is all about, is not being focused on one product. Right?
It is. Yeah. Being diversified. So here you are.
I learned it well. Actually, the first time I talked to you, I was at Delta Sonic, which is a regional car wash, on the phone. And I was about to go into the car wash and I didn't expect you were going to pick up, or maybe you called me. I forget what it was.
Yeah.
I had to pull out of the line. I didn't go through the car wash, and I hear the driver.
That's the most important car wash you never got.
That's right. Yeah. Still remember that.
All right.
So,
well,
that's my background.
All right. And your role, your role with the company
is twofold. Primary role is support. And I work with the other 2 gentlemen we're about to meet, along with a few other people of our staff who are not on today, to make sure that folks get the support they need when they leave class, that we can help direct them towards a lender, what kind of material to get, even in many cases, talking directly to their clients with them, which we do quite a bit about.
Yeah.
So, that's the primary role. And then, as I mentioned during class, I run our commercial real estate product, which is continuing to grow, and we're going to be adding, hopefully, an SBA program.
Yeah.
As you know. So, that's it. But an exciting 11 years, and looking forward to 11 more, God willing.
You think you got 11 more in you?
I think I could make that.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, welcome. And let me turn it around to the other side to who wants to go first? Well, let me bring up Eric Mac McConnell.
Speaking of the oldest guy.
Speaking of the oldest guy, and I don't know, I don't know if there's a reason why both of you or we put the bald guys on all one side of the table, but
It's a lighting thing.
it's a lighting
That's all
thing.
the
Yeah.
handsome guys
Yeah.
are.
But in any event, Eric, welcome to your first ever podcast with CCTG. You're an intricate part here. You pretty much deal with everybody that comes through here along with the rest of the team. But why don't you introduce yourself, your background, and what's your role with the company?
Well, I am Eric McConnell, but here I'm Mac because there's so many Erics in the company.
Yeah.
But my background, I came out of Clarkson as an accountant, and I spent a decade as corporate controller for a not-for-profit, and we housed handicapped people, and we had contacts in real estate all over the place. We were redeveloping a plaza. We were putting people up in big houses, and so I kind of got the bug. And after a decade there, I turned to real estate, got my real estate license after I'd gotten my MBA on that company, and started to do sales and leasing. Then I moved into financing real estate. And I eventually started working for a company out of Buffalo that represented a number of large life companies and the cleanest, the biggest of the deals. My first quote was $40 million Hyatt. And I tied. Tying sucks. I didn't close a loan with that guy prior to that tie, and the other guy did. So I lost that deal, and things got tough. But you keep persevering. You just keep going. After that, I went out on my own a little bit. Then I joined Bank of America, eventually Capital Bank, and finally these banks just kept getting bought up, buying others, and pushing me out. You know, when you come in late as a broker into banking, you're not the first guy.
Yeah.
They look to keep.
Right.
And so I got involved in insurance. And I knew this very successful guy I needed to chase down. I don't know who gave me the name, but this Cosentino fella needed some insurance. Well, I asked him the first time. He said, "You know what? I'm about to start this new job, and I think it's going to be really good. Let's talk later." So persistent son of a gun that I am, I did. I called him the next year. It's going really well, but now I'm going to get married. Okay. Well, I'll call you later. And this next time I called him, he says, "All right, I need it. I'll take it. I'll take some insurance right now, but under one condition. You interview with my boss."
Yeah.
And I said, "All right." And he brought me out here to meet you. We were over in the 90 State Street building. And, you know, there was a lot of honesty in that meeting. I really enjoyed it. One of the things Chris said was, "I usually give John what he wants, and he wants you." So I came out of that with a very positive attitude. But on the other hand, all the things you told me about the company, John, from the beginning came true. Very impressed with the program that you'd put together, the seamless integration of the finance marketing group and the rest. I left that day knowing I was taking the job, but I didn't tell you until you brought me back for class. I think I made it till about 10 o'clock Monday morning in class. And I said, I'm going to join this team.
Yeah.
And very glad I have. I've been here since October 2017. And what I do is, you know, Monday, I'll get out of your class. You've been drinking from the fire hose for an entire week, trying to remember what you learned on Monday and Tuesday and even Saturday. And all of a sudden you've got a lead in your hand. What do I do with it? What do I ask? What do I need to know? These are the questions that people come to me with.
Right.
And as they develop deeper into this and they handle the first call and other things, we start to get deeper into handling objections and how do we approach certain kind of people. There's no question off limits. If a graduate has a question, that's what support is. We're here to clear it up for them.
Good.
I like to tell them if it's going to take you 10 minutes to figure it out, call me. It'll take 5.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's obviously the value. All right. Well, yeah, that's You reminded me of that story of how you came here. I remember you told me
hard
that
to
a long
believe
time.
it's almost 4 years.
I know. 4
Time
years,
flies.
and when you actually came here, you had all your hair, and 4 years later, you lost it all. So
No, that's not
that
true.
I'm wearing a toupee. Actually.
All right. Moving down the line to the other bald guy, Gary. What happened over there? Are you
I'm
you
not
weightlifting
sure.
or what's going on?
I think what happened to the new guy, you just making him hold up the microphone.
Yeah, I saw you just
So I
ripped
think
the
what
mic
happened,
right
I
off.
just moved it down.
That's
and
good. It
he's
means you're
gonna-
working out. I mean,
Gonna drop it on the floor when he's done.
There you
That's
go.
right.
Yeah, mic drop. All right, Gary Lockwood. Gary, I've known you a long time. I think it's interesting in your journey because I've known you with all of these other firms, with at least in my time in the industry, and at the end of the day, you ended up here. I had the pleasure of and lucky enough to get you over here. So why don't you explain your role? Well, first your background, how you got here, and your role of the company.
Sure. And good morning, everybody. I've been much like everybody else here. I've been in commercial finance for 20 plus years. I guess it's about 23 years now. Started out as a commercial banker in the New York City metropolitan area, doing everything from opening accounts to running branches, commercial banking, ending up in middle market banking, leaving about 12 years ago, like a lot of other people did, and started brokering transactions, much like John, much like Mac in the SBA and commercial leasing end. And so in the past 10, 11 years, I've spent an equal amount of time actually owning and operating a couple of broker shops in New York City metropolitan area, a little bit upstate New York, and also representing a couple of different funders. So we met about, believe it or not, 7 years ago now, where I represented a funder on the platform. A couple of years later,
For CCTG.
With CCTG,
Yeah.
exactly,
You actually came in and represented that funder part that was part of our network.
Yeah, I was up here every single month. It was a great experience. And a little bit more than a year ago, as things were shaking out for my last opportunity, I was talking with John about it, and he said, "Hey, listen, we may have an opportunity here." I'm glad it worked out. It's been a little bit more than a year now. My primary, while I'm part of the support team and do a lot of what Mac and John said, it's really support. A lot of it is support for the new brokers that are coming out. But my responsibilities primarily are surrounding prime commercial earnings working capital program.
You
So helping everybody learn how to originate those opportunities, support those opportunities, and help them from beginning to end, from getting the opportunities open to close.
Yeah, and I think you've I mean, primarily your specialties working capital, merchant cash advances, et cetera, for the last 10 years, but you have a good all around well balanced business loan experience, so I think that's really great what you bring to the table. I think what's interesting in hearing everybody introduce themselves is that I think it's important for everybody to know too, at one point in each of your careers you guys brokered.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. So
yeah,
it's not like you guys are here and you worked for a lender and all of a sudden I got you and you're here and now you're support. I mean, you guys know what it's like to kind of live or die by the deal. You know what I mean? Which I think is valuable and more relatable to guys coming in here because, they certainly live or die by each deal they do. Right. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, and also I think what's great is, what people don't realize is that we have a true team here. I mean, you guys have been, except, Gary, I've known you for a long time, but you're the newest out of the group being in the last year actually working for the company, but you've worked with our grads years before. So, know what the training is like from the other side of the things. But, for Mac and John, you guys been here now, a long time, and I think that says something for, what we do. We don't have a lot of turnover in terms of, key personnel here. So, which is good, John, talk to me about, what's a typical day in life on the support side, that you're used to?
Yeah. Well, I'm an early riser.
Yeah.
So, I'm the guy that
you're old. That's why.
That's because I'm old.
Yeah. You wake up.
Every year I go to bed earlier and I get up earlier.
Yeah.
So, generally I think we all pick up where others leave off, which is a nice thing about what we do. We all operate on different, time zones, but I guess operate in different time frames. So I'm the early guy. So I'm the one that they're getting emails from at 4:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
I'll be thinking I'm still up from the night before or something, but I'm just getting up. But so starts the day with catch up from what I might have missed the night before, answering emails and so forth, helping students start their day with, making sure that they have the correct information as they get going. But it's largely communication via email and text and phone calls all day. Obviously, Mac spends more time on the phone talking to students than I do, and it's partly because we got some different roles throughout the day. But support from email perspective in terms of answering questions, sending them documentation, responses to questions that they have relative to what type of transaction they're working on.
Right.
And then as the day advances, you start to get the phone calls. You're walking people through the kind of deals that they're working on. Which lender they need to go to.
Right.
That kind of thing. And then throughout the day, one of the things that, even though it's our own company, Prime Commercial Lending, and the real estate loans that we're doing, it's really, that product was really created for our graduates. So we reduce fees, and we don't take the origination that many lenders do. So, although I'm working on Prime Commercial Lending, it's really their product. So a lot of the day gets spent as the afternoon goes on, helping them, with the deals that they're doing with our real estate company.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's a good point with, both you and Gary kind of have similar roles in that, Gary manages our merchant cash advance working capital product for Prime as a direct lender, and you do on the real estate side. But we've kind of designed those programs. What's different about, we're one lender out of 50 or 60 lenders, right? Or even 100 if you had NACLB. But we've designed those programs specifically to make it easy for brokers to work with us,
Right.
Yeah, as we were talking last year and talking about launching an in-house merchant cash advance program, that was what the whole conversation was surrounding.
Right.
A lot of the brokers out there have actually talked to us about supporting and launching that type of program. That's really where the start was from.
Right.
And we've kind of just gone from there, and how we're supporting people. And like John said, and like you said, we're not the only lender on the platform.
Yeah, sure.
So not, if it's not a fit in house, there's still a support function
Tell them where to go.
to helping the brokers out there find the right opportunity.
Right.
Which is, like John said, that's half the day right there.
Right. Right. And, I think an important point that I'm going to bring up that maybe people that may be viewing this don't understand yet. And because we get the question a lot. And Mac, you could follow in with this when I'm done. But people always ask when they look at us, why do we provide support? We're not a franchise. So what inclines us to provide support, right? You don't take money from, you're not getting kickbacks. So why would you provide support? How do I know you're going to provide support? And I think what a lot of people don't realize until they get here on Monday doing training, and I actually, they hear it out of the horse's mouth and we explain it to them. But essentially, this industry is a very small industry. It's very big, but yet it's very small, right? We all know, everybody knows one another in this industry. So bad news travels very quickly. When I say bad news, the reason we provide support, I always say the corporate answer is we're contractually obligated to provide support, right? I mean, okay, that's obvious, but why do we really provide support? I don't like that answer. The true answer is because we not only want to make sure we're protecting the broker's reputation, integrity, but ours as well. Because if we get known in the business of producing bad brokers that don't know what the hell they're doing, our lenders wouldn't continue to be here every month because they're not getting productivity, and then therefore they're not a part of CCTG, and therefore we don't exist, right? I mean, it's a people don't realize that that's the real reason. We want to make sure not only they're doing things correctly for themselves, so it doesn't reflect bad on us, right? It's like producing bad children. It reflects bad on the parents if your kids are out there doing crazy things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, Matt, can you, I mean, you probably, you battle that every day of really trying to get these guys on the right track and make sure they're not doing the wrong things with the lenders,
Yeah, absolutely. And to John's point, I do talk on the phone a bit more.
Yeah.
Because I don't like to type. It's that easy. But, you also get in a position where you receive a question, you don't have enough information to answer it.
Right.
So you got to type in 5 words to get 10 back. And it becomes just this daisy chain of sentences. And so I find that getting on the phone and being able to ask questions, drill down to the core problem is just the better way for me to solve it for them.
Right.
But I agree wholeheartedly with you. It's what I tell everybody when they ask me the question. If we don't support you guys, you go out there, you don't become a success.
Right.
If you don't become a success, you don't tell people. or worse, you tell people you didn't become a success, and that crumbles our entire business model.
Right.
And so, for me, it's about being the championship team. I think we possess the reputation of being the best broker training school. There's
No doubt.
3 or 4 that we know about, and everyone I talk to at every one of the lenders I talk to, and I am the guy that gets to get them all on the phone
Yeah.
for the classes.
Right.
They're very impressed with how we do it, the whole program.
Right.
One of my favorite aspects is the integration with finance marketing group, doing the ads, with digital marketing group, helping on but just everywhere you turn in this company, there's a real estate company to help them get loans done. There's a working capital company to help them get work done. It's well designed, and I'm just proud as hell to work with it.
Yeah. No, you said a good thing there. You're great to be part of a championship team. I think what's great is that you and I see it all the time, because you always, when I see you, or you even call me, you don't call me a lot, but when you call me, it's usually good news in that you're excited. Like you call me, hey, so-and-so just closed this deal and they're happy as a pig and shit, but that must be rewarding for all of you guys when you hear grads closing deals and they're successful, especially one that came in and maybe they were struggling, because some people do struggle. Well, let's be real. But you really, is that rewarding for you guys to see the time and effort and work that you put in, and then ultimately see the reward on their end?
Yeah, I would say when you're helping somebody close their first deal right out of it, they're really excited about it.
Right.
And with some of the internal programs too, you keep talking to the same customer when you get renewals. So that's really exciting too, when somebody's able to lock somebody in and have a customer for life because you helped them close it the first time.
Right.
We got a lot of examples on that. And on the support end, it's funny. I think I probably called John and Mac. We talk to each other too about finding the best opportunities for the brokers out there to fund deals. Like if I don't know where to fund something, I go to John, I go to Mac.
Yeah.
So we're talking to each other and not just talking to the individual funders out there too. And one thing, Max, I talk to a lot of brokers out there and I talk to a lot of funders. And what's interesting out there is that the funders see the value proposition that aren't on the platform. I have funders calling me constantly
to get into the platform,
get into the program,
Yeah.
to get into the platform, because they see the
to be a
value
lender.
proposition.
Right. Well, they hear
That's
about
how
it too. They hear about from other lenders how our brokers are, I hate to brag, but I'm going to brag. They're like the elite, right? Like they get it. They know what they're doing. They're not a joker broker, as I say. I mean, so they hear this. They're like, where did you come from? Oh, and then they call one of you guys saying, hey, I want to get into the training. And unfortunately, we have to deny a lot of them just because,
yeah, they see the value proposition between, NECLB and everything else.
Right.
They see it all kind of put together. And you're right. They're, when I tell people you're going to get quality deals and quality experiences from the people that come through the training program.
Yeah. And we've proved that. It's not like us just saying that. I mean, last 12 years, we've certainly proved that.
Yeah, it's their success is our success. That's really how it sums up.
Yeah, it's a good way to say it. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And it's you mentioned about all the lenders that call us to get in. I remember when we were starting out, just trying to get lenders in.
Yeah.
It's tough.
That was my role back then too. And not that it was difficult, but it's completely different perspective when I'm working to sell us to these people. Why do you want to be part of this group?
Now you're clearing people away because they just
exactly. Yeah. So nice change of perspective. I enjoy that part.
Yeah,
sure.
Well, so tell me, let me just go. We'll do a quick round the table. What's the best part you love about your job, John?
I think what we were just talking about, seeing people succeed, seeing people get checks. We're doing the PPP loans. Money's going to be going out for that. Like you said, I know what it's like to eat what I harvest, and seeing people harvesting deals and making money. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, Mac.
Yeah, that's number one. And since it's been taken, I would add, I've gotten a number of calls from people who talked about how to go and talk to somebody or how to present themselves, and they've come back to me and, oh my God, thank you. That was amazing. That worked. I had one say, my husband is so impressed with what you've done for me. He's sending you this gift. It was
the perks of this job. They get
Navy SEAL coin.
Lisa.
Oh wow,
that's cool.
Wow.
From a high-ranking Navy SEAL.
Wow.
I was like on cloud 9 for probably a month.
That's awesome.
I'm showing everybody this.
Yeah, I remember that.
Like 10 times.
Yeah, he came around. Wow.
It was pretty neat. But
awesome. Yeah.
that's probably the best part. Just hearing them be grateful for giving them a career.
Yeah. Good. Gary?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that with Mac, when I look at it, is we're helping people launch a new company.
Right.
We're right in the beginning of helping people launch. So we're home base, right? We're home base for them. We're helping them really get everything launched. And it's exciting helping people do that. And like John said, when you help somebody close their first deal and they get paid for it, right? And they're motivated to keep going from there. I think that's the best thing. Helping people close their first deal. That's the thing I like about this, right? And then helping them. It's funny when I get back on the phone with them and I hear them repeat the words that I said to their borrowers, right? And it helps them be successful to close more deals. So we see that the trainings had a positive impact on them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'd say that's the best part.
That's the best rewarding part. Yeah. And for me, it's the same. I mean, it's the same thing. I mean, it's when I hear the story, when you guys, call me or say, hey, so-and-so closed a check or closed a deal and they made this, they made that, that's rewarding. And, it's, I can only imagine you guys are on the front lines, in terms of dealing with these people. So, I can't imagine what that feels. I mean, I know what it feels like, but you guys deal with it every day and that must be a good feeling. And the last thing I'm going to talk about is just the way we provide support. So it's not, I think people have a misconception that it's just phone or email. I mean, there's times where you guys actually get on the phone with the grad, with the client, and you guys kind of pretend to be a part of their business, right? Whatever title they want to give you, partner, underwriter. I mean, you guys probably have worn many hats on calls before, right?
Who am I before we start this call? Who am I?
Yeah. Who am I? Right. Right. Tell me, I don't know. One of you guys want to speak about that? I mean, that's.
Yeah. I've done it a number of times. I'm kind of cautious in doing it.
Mhm.
I don't want them to ask me to get into a phone call that I believe they're capable of handling.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
If I think that they're capable of handling it, I tell them, this is what's going to happen if I jump in on this. And I believe you can do it. But if I become the pro on the phone call, they're always going to want to talk to me. And I want them to always talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
So let's practice this a couple times and see if you're ready to handle it on your own. If not, I'm there for you.
Yeah.
Absolutely there for you.
Right.
But if you can do it by yourself, you've done it for yourself. And I think that's our goal.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We talked about what are the most rewarding parts of working here and working with the grads, but I always like to get a fair and balanced perspective, not just to promote, joy, but in any job and there's tough moments, right? And so what's one of the most, I'll start with you, John. What's the most challenging aspect of your job that may come up, on a daily basis?
It's a good question. I mean, we all like to focus on what the positives are, but I guess, I get, I use the word frustrated, but maybe it's a combination of frustration and sympathy and so forth. But sometimes you get folks that are not putting forth the kind of effort that you think they need to,
Mhm.
and they use other excuses to procrastinate. I'm not making sales calls because my website's not up yet, or things of that character, which we were talking about the other day.
Right.
Right. And so just
Or they're not making sales calls because they don't there's an image they want to change out on their website.
right.
And God forbid if somebody sees a woman on a phone compared to a guy on a phone, and therefore that's preventing them making sales calls.
Right,
It's
right.
just
And
those.
little things that it's a crutch, I mean, or it's a reason to
Yeah,
not,
yeah.
because
Right.
I understand you're starting a new business and you got to go out and you got to be everything then.
Right,
And so, I guess it's not a negative, but, I want to help those people get motivated and not procrastinate. And instead of doing tomorrow what they can do today, do it today.
Yeah.
And wait for that image.
Yeah,
Get
good.
out and sell.
Good.
So I think that's not so much a negative, but just maybe a frustration that I have trying to make sure people stay on top of it and sell.
Yeah. No, that's certainly a realistic answer. Mac, what about you? What do you think is the most challenging in your day?
Well, the people that take on this challenge, they are entrepreneurs. They're self-starters. They are people who believe in themselves. And then you get them take the course and they come away with some knowledge, and then they get on the phone and they call you and they ask you a question. And then they start challenging your answers. And they say, well, no, maybe we should do it this way. Well, it just, is it done that way? You can't do it that way. So it can be a challenge sometimes to take the alpha attitude and
because we deal with all personality types when you deal in a group setting, right?
And then try to shift them over to something that's going to be more effective for them.
Right.
So that can be difficult. And then you've got the people that just have a difficult time learning.
Right.
And you've got to repeat to them and you write it down on a piece of paper and email it to them, and they still don't know that we want to know the occupancy of the building. And so it's tough, but you just persevere, you go through it. You've got a good attitude, a good disposition to not get jacked up on them.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
So,
all right.
Just something to tag off of that. Now that we're recording our sessions for these folks, right?
Right.
I mean, really, everybody should go back and watch multiple times, I think.
For a training. Yeah. The virtual aspect.
When I started here, it took me, I don't know how many times, every months before I could tell you which lender did what. I mean, you have to have some repetition.
There's a lot of lenders.
Yeah. So,
right. Okay.
It's good that we, good that we have that ability
to do that now.
Yeah.
Gary, what about you?
Yeah, I would say the challenges are to get somebody to persevere through their first tough deal. What do I mean by that? A lot of times we're talking to people who've worked on a deal for the first time. It falls apart at the end, and they get frustrated and they feel like they're not going to be able to close any additional opportunities. So remotivating people like that, I'd say, is some of the bigger challenges that I have out there. Because a lot of what we do on the working capital and, a lot of, deals can sometimes fall apart.
Sure.
That's going to happen.
Sure.
And you want to be able to motivate people and say, listen, this is a speed bump. It's not a stop sign. Keep going.
Yeah.
There's going to be opportunities out there. You're going to have additional deals that you think look great that are going to fall apart. And the ability to continually motivate people to continue to work on deals, if they've had if they didn't have instant successes and they've worked hard on something that may have not closed or worked out the way that they wanted them to. So just continually tell them it's a marathon. I like to tell them, listen, I was a broker for a couple of years too. I've been on the other side of that. Yes, it happens, but that's why it's important to make sure that you're working on multiple opportunities at once and helping keep people motivated when sometimes things haven't worked out the way that they want to. I find that's probably one of the bigger challenges I have out there.
Bigger challenges. Yeah. No, it's great that you get, and we talk about that, I think that's one of the differences, many differences with us compared to some of these other companies that try to do what we do. And in that we're really realistic about this business. And you hear me on Monday morning, first training. Some of the first words that come out of my mouth in the first 5 minutes of training is, you're not going to make $1 million in a year. You're not going to do it. Right. I mean, don't just get your head out of that. This is going to be a tough road. It's going to, you're going to have to persevere. And I kind of set that expectation of, look, people have made $1 million, but that's not the norm. I think there's a lot of people out there that take like the exception once in a while and then try to convey it as the norm, like for the first year, right? Or you're going to make $1 million in 6 months, or all the bullshit out there.
They can do it. I can do it.
Yeah. I mean, but we talk about why do some graduates don't do good as others. I talk about that on Monday. What are some things that make graduates not as successful? What are some of the actions they do? And you guys all hit on those points here, not being motivated, not following through with what we do, not putting the work ethic in, it's hard work. It's bottom line. It's hard work. So
it's not a deal till the money's in the bank.
It's not a deal until the money's in the bank. Right.
Even if it closes, it's still not a deal.
Right.
The money gets in the bank.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, I think, that's all the time we have. We actually have a training to get to today. I appreciate all of you coming in here early, Mac. I know this is, last time you woke up early was probably on your wedding day 30 years ago.
I got to tell you, he complains I'm getting older and I get up earlier. I'm the other way around. I can't get to sleep.
Yeah. But no, from me to all of you guys, I appreciate all the hard work you do and value each of you, what you contribute to this company, because without that, we wouldn't be the company that we are today. So I appreciate everybody.
Right. Thank you.
All right. Well, everybody, hopefully you found that episode enjoyable. And, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, where you could see more episodes that come out on a monthly basis, interviews with employees, graduates, even lenders from time to time. So hope you found that enjoyable. And again, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel to get the daily updates. Thank you so much. And we'll see you on the next one. There are just too many commercial loan brokers that don't have a damn clue of what they're doing. All we're trying to do here is better the industry for everybody. At the end of the day, you can make great money in this industry, but in the end, it's all about helping people. You know, people always say, Chris, how can I be a successful broker? It's two words, hard work and dedication. If you don't like talking to people, you probably shouldn't be in this business.